to order. This is a special meeting of Louisa City Council, and February 25th, 2020. I have a couple announcements, then we'll be making the action on the items that's on the agenda. If y'all would stand, and I'll ask Tom, you lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mitch, you lead us in prayer.
I will. Father, we thank you for this wonderful day, Lord, where we've been able to gather to do the city's work. We ask that you help us to discern what's right for our community and our folks. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. All right, and not on the agenda, but I don't think there was any problem with adding this. It's no legal action on your all's part, but I have a proclamation for Severe Weather Awareness Week, and this year it happens to be March the 1st through the 7th, Chris, and the tornado drill is on March 4th at 10:07. My former job, as you all may remember, was emergency management director, and because of that, I'm very knowledgeable of this type of stuff. And so it's important for us this time of year to remember to sure things up and be weather aware. As you all remember, a few years ago with the tornado this very week, or next week, we lost 30-some homes and 2 individuals' lives and 5 or 6 injuries, and the neighbors around us were even much worse than that. I was emergency management director at the time. So with that, the governor has declared the week of March the 1st through the 7th Severe Weather Awareness Week. And so I shall do the same in Louisa. I suspect the county probably will do the same. And if you all would then, I asked Chris, he's kind of new. Chris Cox is our new emergency management director in Lawrence County. And here the county does the city too. So I asked him to come and get a picture taken with me, and we'll sign this and you all, and then we'll go from there. You can come up here, Chris. We put it in paper and say we
Make front page here, buddy.
huh?
I say he'll make front page.
For sure. That wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, turn your head, Jackie. We don't want the camera to break.
Call me Herbert.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Both of you. There you go.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, Chris.
No problem.
You know, with the world of cell phones today, we have better than ever a way to be alerted. Everybody that has a cell phone. So, but it's a good time of year to check and be sure you got whatever weather app you use. Or I'm sure Chris would recommend you signing up for our code red system at the county if you haven't done that. And you go on and put your cell phone number in his system, and anything from boil water advisories to severe weather alerts, you'll get it. So,
That code red link's on the police department's Facebook. If I can use it.
okay. Anybody has any questions about that? Another tidbit of announcement, we lost a person here, I think he passed away February 7th, that had served with the city for several years in the role of police department, even as police chief, and maybe some other roles too. I know I worked here when dispatch was here. I worked here in 1986, and he was here then, and he became chief for a few years. After doing some research, Greg, we didn't know exactly how many years he was here. Maybe he was here and gone back, I don't know, but Tim Southern was his name. Some of you know him, I'm sure, remember him. And his funeral services was way up in West Virginia. The chief and William Leedy and some of the city people went. I was out of town, and we would like to, Greg and I are going to prepare just something about his service and a patch and take it to his daughter that lives down here by the school. So if you all would just remember that family and let us take this time to just thank him for his service to the city. And that was back back years ago when times were even tougher than they are now, if you can believe it. All right. Going to the agenda items, first item on the agenda, number 3, fill the council seat. As you all know, Mr. Nolan moved out of town, therefore he had to resign pretty much immediately. And we had 30 days, you all had 30 days to find a replacement. Bud called and he was in court in Carter County and was unexpectedly running late, so he's gonna be a little bit late. But I don't see any reason why we couldn't go ahead and do it. I may not be able to swear in the one tonight that gets picked. Let me say this before we do it, the ones that's interested, I appreciate being interested. And it's great to see that we have an opening and we got people willing to step up and do it. And regardless, there may be more than one that would like to serve, and we only have one opening. Election time isn't far off, so if you're interested, and tonight's not your night, this will give you an opportunity to maybe come to meetings, get informed, and run next time. So with that, I think the appropriate procedure is for us to take, this is entirely up to the council because you're picking part of the legislative body, and that's separate from my executive branch, so it's these guys' decision. So I think with that, the most likely thing to do is take nominations from you all. If somebody would like to nominate somebody.
I'd like to nominate one. James Barker.
Okay. Gary would like to nominate James Barker. Just gonna write this down. And do we have any other nominations?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Ashley Cottle.
All right. And do we have any other nominations?
Yeah, I talked to this guy here, he come down to the house down there, and I told him I'd put a name in the hat for him. What was your name again there?
James Allen, Paul
James
Barker.
Okay. So he's already been
Okay, he's already been picked there?
nominated.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, I talked to him there, me and him had a long discussion on the porch.
Okay.
Seemed like he's really interested.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm tickled
Yeah.
that we got, I guess, two. The other time, we couldn't even hardly find somebody, so I'm glad that you're interested. And like I said, unfortunately, we only have one opening, but if this ain't the time, maybe next time. So with that, Kathy, would you call the roll for Barker? Have him vote. Aye or nay?
Okay, for Mr. Barker, Parsons,
Yeah.
Schaefer,
No.
Brown,
Nay.
Robertson,
Yes.
and Castle.
Nay.
Okay, for,
Would you call the roll for Ms. Cobb?
Cottle.
Ash.
All right, let's start down there. Castle,
Yes. Nay.
Robertson, no. Brown,
Yes.
Schaefer,
Yes.
and Parsons.
Nay.
Okay, we got 3 yeses for Cottle and 2 yeses for Mr. Barker.
Okay. So hearing that, I'll say that Ms. Carter will be appointed to the position, and the opening to run is, start filing in June this year, thoroughly this year. So you can file in June.
Can we do the normal thing and go ahead and get a second and a vote like we normally do?
I'll second.
Because it's like a motion's been made, but no second. See what I'm saying?
Well, it ain't a motion, it's just a nomination.
Okay, different than a vote.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
All right.
it's fine.
council
We
has
have
appointed Ms.
roll
Cottle.
call
Okay,
votes of yea and nay. And again, James, thank you for your interest.
Thank you.
Yes.
When you come there, you can go up to the courthouse
Yes.
and register for the fall. You know, that's,
And, see, you're going back to school, aren't you?
I'm already been doing that.
You already, yeah,
Thursday.
and census, and working,
And
and
I'm the
working.
president of Pontotoc Capital, so yeah, I'm doing a lot of things.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your input.
Yeah.
I really do,
Yeah.
really do. And I actually appreciate your input.
Congratulations to you.
And if you want, like I told Kathy, I don't have the legal language to swear you in. The mayor can swear you in, we just typically let the city attorney do it. I don't have it, but if you'd like to come up here and sit with us tonight and have a packet, just not vote until Bud swears you in, but you can at least get started and be a part of it.
Okay. Get your purse on, forget it.
I shouldn't.
Kathy, is this where you're putting her?
That's where I'm putting her.
Well, it's, Kathy said that's the one decision she makes.
That's the only thing I get to do around.
Who said swear?
I kind of want to put Mitch down here beside of me, but we're all right.
We got Mitch over here.
Last time we did that, we got in trouble.
Yeah, we did.
That's why you're down
We
there.
got rebel last time.
All right, my comments I'd already made concerning Mr. Southern and the Severe Storms Awareness Week. Because of our late meeting, we'll be having another one 2 weeks from tonight, so I do have quite a bit of business that'll be on that agenda, so that's all I have as far as comments for tonight. As far as old minutes, if you've had a chance to, or old business, if you've had a chance to look at the minutes from the January 14 meeting, could I entertain a motion we approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minute.
Motion by Ms. Schaefer,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Brown. Any discussion or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and number 6, Jim Bryant is our auditor, and each year, I forget, the Wells and Company, each year he does our audit, and then he always comes and gives you all a report of the findings. So we'll turn it over to him.
Well, thank you for all having me tonight. I can't believe this has already been 7 years I've done the audit. It seems like it was just yesterday. So, I know that first year I started, I was late the first couple of years. And I think I was going to actually back out of doing the audits, and Kathy pushed me on and said, no, you can't quit, you can't quit.
You actually did too the first year, didn't you? Yeah, I was caught up a little bit.
Well, I did 2 the first year because that's when you had the separate commission, utilities commission.
Yeah, but I remember when we was behind though. We was
My
behind
first
you.
year as mayor, he did 2 in 1 year.
Yeah.
He caught up.
So we're caught up now. And, audits are supposed to be finished by February 28th and start getting them submitted to the state and so forth. So that's why I was glad to I couldn't get it completed for your last regular scheduled meeting, and the mayor was nice enough to kind of reschedule that, so you guys have a special meeting tonight so I can present this. And I like getting everything done and out the door by the end of February. So once again, we've met our deadline. So what I do have here, I've got the City of Louisa audit for fiscal year in June 30, 2019. And you'll see on page 3, actually page 1, that's the independent auditor report. This is my report on the audit. It's an unmodified report. There are no issues that were brought up, no findings that I found during the audit that I need to bring to your attention, other than maybe some bookkeeping things I need to talk to the mayor and Kathy about and so forth like that, but nothing that needs to be brought up or put in the audit report itself. And again, the only thing that is in the audit report that's always in the audit report is due to your size of the city. There will be a note in there about the lack of segregation of duties, and I've got that in all the cities, the other cities I audit, other utilities I audit, libraries and so forth like that. In this area, you just don't have the budget to hire enough people in the office and bookkeeping part of it to do all the functions that are necessary, or separate functions and so forth. So that's common for a small town, and it will always be there. But anyway, my opinion on the financials for the City of Louisa as of June 30, 2019. You see at the bottom of that page, you see the opinion, and I'll read that paragraph. It says, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects with respect to the financial position of the governmental activities, business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the City of Louisa, Kentucky as of 2030, 2019, and respective changes in financial position, and where applicable, cash flows therefore for the year then ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. So, there's more to that report, but that's the main thing that I want to bring to your attention. So you can kind of read the rest of that. It's pretty standard from year to year. Financial statements for the city of Louisa. If you look on page 3, this is your overall financial position. And you'll see there's 2 columns there. You've got the governmental activities, which is mainly the general fund. You do also, in that governmental activities, you do also have the youth programs fund, but that's so small. There's not much to that little fund that you have. So most of this is almost all general fund. You'll see the the governmental activities, you had total assets of $3,463,903. You had deferred outflows related to your pensions and other post-employee benefits of $371,049. Governmental activities had total liabilities of $2,452,661. Pension liabilities accounted for $1.6 million of that. And then your loans and so forth like that accounted for about $666,000. Then the rest of your liabilities are the smaller ones, just for accounts payable, your accrued expenses for like payroll, and so forth. And you got your accrued compensated absences for vacation times and so forth, and then accrued interest payable. You'll see that your total net position at June 30, 2019, this is your assets minus your liabilities for the governmental activities, was $1,252,159. That was up from $1,242,671 per previous year. Business type activities, this includes your water and sewer fund and the swimming pool. And again, the swimming pool is so small that the vast 98% and 99% of this is your water and sewer fund. Anyway, the business type activities had total assets of $21,648,607. You can see your capital assets account for the vast majority of that. About $19.7 million you got in property, plant, and equipment. Cash was $1.1 million for the business type activities. Total liabilities were $9,194,506. Pensions were about $1.4 million of that. But the vast majority of your business type activities debts are your bonds and long-term debts with KIA and so forth. That amounted to about over $7.2 million. At the end of the year, your total net position with the assets minus your liabilities was $12,598,628. That was up from $11,696,735 the prior year. And that was up mainly because of your increase in property, plant, and equipment and so forth. So, projects going on and so forth. If you look over on page 7, this breaks down, this is the statement of revenue and expenditures. And I just want to focus on general fund. You see the 2 other columns there, the capital projects fund. That fund is finished. That will not be there next year. That used to be the fund for the projects for the water and sewer that were run through the city side. And it got kind of confusing. And I just made the suggestion several years ago to stop running the projects through the city and just run those, if they belong to the water and sewer program, run those directly through their bookkeeping system. So the capital projects fund will only be for projects of the general fund from this point going forward, and not the water and sewer project funds. And then you got the youth programs funds that's very minor. It's just a little bit of activity in that. But anyway, the general fund last year, you had total revenues of $1,736,198. And I was talking with the mayor the other day. We was kind of going over the financials, how they're very similar to the prior year. There really wasn't a lot of fluctuation. The only fluctuation in the revenues last year was in grants, and that's something that just varies from year to year depending on what kind of grants you got coming in and the city has. But like this past year, you only had $82,356 in grant revenue. Last year, you had $229,000. So, but as far as the taxes, the occupational license, franchise fees, ABC fees, and garbage fees and so forth like that, almost everything was really right in line where they were the prior year. Total expenditures for the general fund last year were $1,799,827, and after proceeds from the sale of capital assets and proceeds from insurances and just a little bit of transfer out to the pool, swimming pool, $541. You had a change in fund balance of a minus $44,142 for year ending June 30, 2019, and which was about where it was prior year. June 30, 2018 is down $56,603. So you have your fund balance decrease from $475,883 to $431,741. So even though it was down this year, and we talked about this the other day, that you even budgeted, it was in your budget that you was going to use some of your existing fund balance from the prior year to operate on and so forth, due to stuff you had going on, projects and things like that. But you're still in good financial position. You got $431,741 available in your fund balance at June 30, 2019. If you look over on
Can
page,
you care to tell them just a little bit what you mean when you say fund balance?
well, basically the fund balance is your assets minus your liabilities. And if you look over on page 5, you can see that this is,
It's not the bank.
no.
I just want to be sure.
But actually at June 30, 2019, of that $431,000 fund balance, you had $354,966 in cash at the end of the year. Then what accounts for that fund balance is that $598,544 in total assets minus your liabilities of $166,803. So, and this is just fund accounting here. This doesn't take into account, there's a difference between fund accounting and the governmental account that I explained on page 3 earlier. This doesn't take into your long-term liabilities or your capital assets. So that's just the difference between fund accounting and the overall governmental account. So, any questions on general fund? If not, I'll go over to page 11, and this is your revenues and expenses on the business type activities, like as I said earlier, water and sewer and your swimming pool. Water and sewer for the fiscal year had operating revenues of $3,054,100. You had total operating expenses of $2,861,456. And after interest income of $2,476 and interest expense on your bonds and loans KIA of $163,411, you had a net income last year of $31,709. And that was up, he was in the black last year. Had a net loss June 30, 2018 of $62,499. So that was one of the first times since I've been doing the audits that you've actually been showing a net income on water and sewer. And I think that's where the council and so forth been working, having the CPI projections at the end of the year, making sure your revenues for water and sewer stay abreast of going, with the expenses going up and so forth, your revenues are kind of, following that. So that's the whole point of doing the CPI, looking at CPI, just making sure you don't fall behind, because expenses are always going to keep going up. So your revenues are going to, follow that. You had contributions in aid of construction. This is on those projects you had out on the, I don't know, route numbers out there, or Walmart, and all that stuff. Yeah. $874,172. So actually your net position actually increased on water and sewer by $905,881 last year. So water and sewer fund is doing good. And another thing I want to explain, and this is the thing I always like to point out to you on page 12. This is your cash flow, and this kind of shows you how much cash flow is coming from your operations. And are you generating enough cash from your operations to pay your liabilities on your bonds and your KIA loans? And you can see last year, about a third of the way down there, you'll see net cash provided by operating activities. You generated $920,672 of actual cash from operations. And that was an improvement from the prior year of $773,000. So if you look down, you can see your cash flows from capital and related finance activities. Your total principal payments on debts last year was $620,527. That's how much cash was used to pay down your debts and principal. And your interest was $169,506. So those two combined was $779,000. You generated $920,000 from cash from operations. So you're good. It's a good sign that you have enough cash to cover your debts, plus put some in the bank, you know, cover your depreciation reserves and sinking fund reserves and so forth. So that's a good sign. It's a good, healthy sign for the city of Louisa's water and sewer program or department. Swimming pool, if you're interested in it, you had total operating revenues last year of $37,432. Expenses were $41,961. You had just $541 transferred in from the general fund to cover some expenses. So you had a decrease last year, or a loss on the swimming pool, total of $3,988. So, and its net position at the end of the year is $50,813. So it's still got a positive net position. Like I said, the rest of you can review the notes if you want on your own time. The notes to the financial statements, it just kind of explains, you know, the numbers for your capital assets, your loans, so forth like that. And that big long disclosure note on there about your pensions, that's in there if you're interested in that. The audit, then I told you earlier, the only note that's going to be in the audit report is the lack of segregation of duties. There's no other findings that I need to bring to your attention during the course of my audit. So, but that's basically all I have. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to try to answer them. But you know, the city, it's coming along. It's a good financial position. Like I said, the water and sewer fund, you get some money in the bank, generate enough cash to pay your bills and your loans and so forth. And
As long as we ain't drowning, we're in good shape.
yeah, that's right. So it's made quite a bit of improvements in the 7 years I've been doing the audit. So,
Anybody have any questions for Jim?
if not, you guys can, if anybody wants to talk to me individually, you can always get the number from Kathy or something. You can call me up and talk to me if you have any questions on anything. And if not, then thank you for having me, and we'll be back next year. Same place, same time.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Larry.
All right. I assume if you didn't have any questions for him, you won't have any for me. So, come up, come. All right.
Thank you for the good work.
You're welcome. We are improving, especially water and sewer.
Oh, yeah, I see a big difference.
All right, item number 7 on the agenda is resolution 2019-05, municipal road aid fiscal year 2021. Y'all that's been here, I know that you know it, but for the new ones, or somebody in the audience that don't know it, we get road aid each year from the state based upon gasoline tax when people buy gas. And for the cities, it's divided up based upon population. So the predetermined amount we get from the state. We have two choices. We can either take that equal payments monthly over a 12-month period, or if we agree to enter into a cooperative agreement with them, they take 3% of our total road money and put in a fund for emergencies. So everybody in the state that participates in that pays 3%. I know the county does, or they did. I think they still do. 3% of your road fund goes in that emergency fund. And then, kind of in return for that, instead of stretching it out over the year, they agree to pay you like 75% of it, one lump sum up front, and then the other 25% or 21%, 22% on up in August. So it gives you your money more than a lump sum. They did that to get people to do it. Plus, it gives them 3% back. But if we were to have a major unforeseen road incident that was going to cost $100,000 and we just don't have the money in the road fund to fix that road, you can apply to that and get it fixed. And I know the county has done it many times through the years, and I know when I was master, we just unexpectedly, a bridge fell in. And just a bridge fell. It was talking $250,000, nobody had the money. They applied for it through that road aid and got it, and it was repaired. So we have, for the last 3 or 4 years, we have entered into the agreement, give them the 3%. That's what this resolution does, enters back into that agreement for another year and agrees to give them 3%. And
We have a resolution and an agreement,
yeah,
don't we?
I don't know why. Yes, yeah, I don't know why. It's the same thing.
And I have to have signatures if they pass it of all council members.
Yeah, so if you all can sign that. Yeah. So do I have a motion, we enter, you want to continue entering into that cooperative agreement and give 3%? If so, entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Gary Robertson, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Brown. Any question? Any discussion? Hearing none. Call for the vote.
Castle,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Schaefer,
Yes.
Parsons.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh.
I didn't get her vote because she's not sworn in yet,
Right.
right?
No.
Okay.
And that agreement just should be for my signature, once they pass this
Yeah.
resolution.
But the resolution's what everybody has signed.
Right. Let's see if we have to vote on it again. All right, number 9, any comments from the council members?
Are we gonna use the same motion? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't see any reason we have to.
Okay.
Okay. Ask you something there.
Okay.
Same as Randy.
Next door to you there, are there any way we can maybe get the city to help clean that up just a little bit? Oil Teresa's going over there picking up garbage and trying to move stuff out of the way, and I told her if I was able, I'd go out there and help her a little bit. I usually mow a piece part of that in the summertime, you know, to keep the mice and stuff from coming over in there. But
Well,
if we can
You know,
clean up
the
the
discussion we
problem,
had in executive session, I don't know what told us this long, but I'll find
Well,
out.
I mean, you know, I want to.
Yeah, I mean, we've been through
It's a
years.
sore eye, yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Agree 100%, and I'll forget about it, and then I drive by, and then I think about it.
I'm not getting hate for her.
No, I
just, I'd like to
You
see.
live by it.
I know, but Teresa, she lives there too, and she said it's pitiful, and the kids walk by and they step underneath that old porch falling down, and she's afraid one of them will get hurt. So, I mean, we'll look into it.
Because it's not just ugly, it's dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
If we
absolutely.
clean it up a little bit, it might not be as bad.
True. You make myself, I just gotta ask Bud where he stands on it. He said he was down to just 1 or 2 errors is all he liked.
Well, I mean, you know, if we don't work on it, maybe we might be able to clean it up out there in the front where the city,
Cut that.
yeah, they used to
We
go
did.
down to the mow a little bit.
Let me make myself a note of that.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'd like to mention that, and I'm gonna ask him to come to the next meeting, but I'd like to mention that Brandon Richardson, he's a Louisa citizen. He's the first Kentuckian to be drafted in a professional video gaming league. He was in New York City just a few days ago, this weekend, for the draft. And he was drafted in the 3rd round with the 51st pick by the Washington Wizards District Gaming for the NBA Professional Video Gaming League. And so he'll sign a contract, and I think it's a 6-month contract, but the first Kentuckian to ever, I didn't even know that was a thing until recently, but he's a professional video gamer now.
Can I ask to talk to us? What is that?
Living the dream.
Let's go
When
with the-
somebody says, "Well, how you doing?" He says,
Recognition.
"Living the dream."
Yeah.
Things are serious now, yeah.
That's what Blake needs to do.
Why don't you come in?
Blake.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask him to come
Sure.
next time and us recognize him. It's a pretty big deal.
Let me get something together. That's not Richard's son, it's just Richard's, isn't it? Or
Richardson.
Richardson.
Son.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right.
I just have a question about, where I messaged you the other night, where I got the,
Yeah, I got some pictures. You got pictures?
no, I don't have pictures. I just got this random message.
Yeah, it's another, code violation issue. And, so I asked William about it, and he said that he had been there twice, he had talked to the guy. And he said, he told me he would clean it up, I'll go back again. So he went back again, and he sent these pictures. And William said that it was drastically better than when he went the first time, and he agreed that he agreed to me to get the rest of it as soon as he could.
Really?
Yeah.
So that,
So William took that yesterday.
okay.
But he said it was worse.
I started to say, it's not near as
So
bad
the
as
guy
it
had
may sound like to
been,
me.
he had
so.
worked on it, and he
So
told
he
him,
took the picture.
yeah, he would get rid of the rest of it. Gene Wilson Boulevard. So it looks like that's one that may be easy.
Okay.
Some of them ain't very easy.
This was like it. Yeah, this was late at night. I got that. And I'm like, okay. Let's see.
It looked like some lumber or something.
Yeah, there's that. There's that. Okay.
All right, next. Hearing nothing else, have any comments or questions from the audience? Okay. Hearing nothing else, we don't have an attorney for executive session, so if nobody has any other thoughts or issues, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Make a motion. Motion by Mr. Parsons. Second. Second by Mr. Cassidy. All in favor?
All right.
Amen.
Metro.
Are we gonna stop that?
You work here when Louisa?
For 2K leave,